Welcome to For the Story, the only podcast that's fresh out of crazy person jail and is feeling just dandy.
And my name's Avery.
Oh, and I'm Asher Angel, the lead actor of this film.
Exactly.
One of them.
He's here. We got him live on the air for you, right?
Finally.
With us. No, Asher shares a name with our lead actor of the movie that we saw this week, which is Ash.
The Joker.
I was really hoping you were going to say Kazam.
Kazam?
It's just too goddamn close. Or too Shazam close. But, yeah, right. No, we saw Shazam. It's the newest DC movie that nobody's talking about right now, I don't think.
Which is weird.
I know. I feel like
it's way better than Aquaman.
Yeah, it's got some like appeal. It's cute. It's like the Spider-Man of DC films. That was the impression I got.
And like, let's face it, Zachary Levi has some thick ass quads, and I think that's what we're all really looking for in a superhero movie.
Exactly, is thick quads.
You know what I think this movie is missing, actually?
What?
In the comics, Freddy, the gentleman who has like a polio cane for no reason, because polio's not a thing, he does.
You're right. We'll talk about that, because that's one of those things. I know what you mean.
But in the comics, he gets crippled because of a character called Captain Nazi. And
no.
I think that's what this movie was missing.
Oh, yikes. It was Captain Nazi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Representation's important, Avery.
Yeah. Of all groups, regardless of how fascist. There we go. Yikes. Yeah. So Shazam. That's what we watched. Before we even start talking about that, because I know we both have a lot to say. Ash, have you seen anything this week? And would you recommend any of it?
You know, I have seen some things this week, actually.
Like horrible things, or like the dark side, or
no, so I started watching Silence, which is Netflix's response to the Quiet Place.
I saw this, and it's the same movie. I didn't see the movie because I was like, I've already seen The Quiet Place, so
yeah,
but I need to see that one.
It's with the
Danny
Tooch.
Tucci, right?
Danny Tucci, Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, whatever, same guy. It's his brother. One of the Tucci's.
I've been watching Unicorn Store, the new Brie Larson directed and starred in joint on Netflix. Pretty solid, pretty fun. Kind of like if New Girl was kind of bleak.
You know what? I saw this on there and I did not understand what it was about. I've also been seeing Santa Clarita Diet, and I see the disgusting thumbnail that they put on there on Netflix, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't want that.
So it's Drew Barrymore as a zombie, and in the first episode they lose me because she just covers a bathroom in vomit, and I'm like, okay, we're done here.
Yeah.
Also, Drew Barrymore, more like
also
Drew
vomit.
Bury me under literally 50 pounds of just tar.
More like Drew Carey. Am I right?
Yeah, Drew Carrymore. The price is
Drew,
wrong, my
make
friends.
me carry more. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting. Okay.
And then also been binging my MCU stuff, getting ready for Endgame.
Yeah. The hype is real. The gear up is real. Everybody's excited. I don't know if we're going to get tickets. I think we're probably going to end up seeing it at like 8 in the morning.
Which I'm so excited about. You get to deal with my
I'm okay with that
morning
too.
Energy.
Yeah.
I have way too much energy in the morning. It's obnoxious.
I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person at all. I don't know. I think when it comes to something that I like, I can get up and I can like get going.
Yeah. And like we'll know that you have a nap later. Like
yeah, totally. We're gonna see a movie, drink some beer at 9 in the morning, probably. Eat some popcorn.
It's my birthday, so.
Yeah, exactly. Go home, take a nap. It's going to be good. We're going to have a full episode for you. It's going to be super exciting. But what did I see? I'm like trying to think, and I can't think of what I've saw. Let's see. Oh my God. So, like I said, I think maybe like 2 or 3 episodes back, I renewed my Shudder account. And there's been a lot of stuff that like they've done like a really good job of like really adopting like new or not necessarily new, but really good pulling like products into their medium. The Fly I watched recently, not for the first time, but it's starring Jeff Goldblum. It's really excellent, totally disgusting. Highly recommend that movie. It's really, really gross. I think the guy's name is David Cronenberg. So
it's Cronenberg because
that's what totally disgusting.
An amalgamation of just random body parts.
Yeah, it's so gross. Like and like all of the effects are like really realistic and practical because the movie like came out in the 80s, so they actually put a emphasis on making sure everything looked as gross as possible with like physical elements, and they did a really good job of that. I highly recommend The Fly if you haven't seen it before. I also saw this movie and I can't exactly remember the title. I was like Googling it before we started the podcast. It's called like The Lovelies or The Two Lovelies or something. But basically the premise is that it's this daughter and her father on like homecoming or prom night. They abduct the daughter's prom date and they start torturing him, and some crazy shit happens, and it's really spooky, and it's not like torture pornish, but it's like because they don't really show too much. It's not gratuitous.
Like NSFW torture.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Worthwhile to watch. Is really interesting. They do some terrible stuff to him, and the ending is just so satisfying. I highly recommend it. Let me. What the fucking Lovelies or something? Lovelies torture girl dead. I gotta figure out what it was because I had it written down and I can't find my note.
Dope, dude. Fucking tight. Nick, I'll send it.
Exactly. Oh, here it is. Hold on. I think it's Daddy's Little Girl. Is that what it is?
I've been called that once or twice in my life. No, I'm saying. Like sexually.
Yikes.
Like during like sexual intercourse, Avery.
But I'm gonna find it. I'll let you guys know before the end of the podcast. But it's a pretty cool movie. It's on Shudder. If you guys don't have Shudder yet, I highly recommend Shudder. There's so much good shit that they're putting on there right now. But that's about what I've seen. I've been watching a ton of TNG again, but that never stops. So
TNG is the new girl.
It's not the new girl. It's the next generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The new girl.
Yes, the new girl. Oh, The Loved Ones. That's what it's called. It's called The Loved Ones. Close enough, right? What did I say? The Lovelies?
Yeah, that's
We're
very
right
different.
There. Yeah.
I will recommend. It hasn't even come out yet, but what looks like the best film of all time is My Spy. The Dave Bautista film with Ken Jeong, Kristen Shaw, and it's Dave Bautista's a CIA agent who has like his boss go, "You got one more shot, Dave Bautista, or you're off the force." And then he befriends like a small child, and he like goes roller skating with her. It looks so bad. I am so excited.
Wow, this looks exactly like the kind of movie that Dave Bautista would be in following movies such as The Tooth Fairy and every like 90s Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So
I mean, I am excited that he's going to be doing Dune though.
Wait, is he really? Are you fucking with me?
He's playing Beast in Dune.
Beast?
Mm-hmm. Glisso Beast Rabon.
Wait. You said Dune, like the Frank Herbert book, right?
Yes. They're doing a 2020 release with Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Josh Brolin, Dave Bautista, Oscar Isaac, Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I'm seeing this
Stellan
now.
Skarsgård, Javier Bardem, like really killer cast. Rebecca Ferguson.
Wow, this is actually pretty impressive. I'm seeing this now.
It looks
the director's
pretty
good too. Denis Villeneuve, is that how you say it? I can't pronounce that kind of shit.
Denis
What did he
Villeneuve.
do? His name is so familiar.
Blade Runner 2049.
Right. Okay. And also Arrival. Okay. Cool. And Sicario. Geez, this guy's got a really good.
So I think it's actually going to be really good.
Yeah, that looks pretty tight. Dave Bautista as Beast. I've read Dune and I don't remember a character named Beast.
That's his nickname in the film. His name is Glisso Rabon.
That sounds potentially like creative stretching, but we'll see. We'll see.
Listen, you got me at Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Josh Brolin.
Yeah, seriously.
Like I love Zendaya in fucking Homecoming. She's great, and she's very solid, sassy character. And I just think that they're gonna kill it. I'm excited for a Dune movie that maybe will do justice or Dune justice to
good. It. Dune justice. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like it could be fucking awesome. Blade Runner 2049 was one of my favorite movies of that year. I think that was 2016 or 2017. So it could be a lot of fun. And everything else that he's done. I've never seen Incendies. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that movie.
Listen, here's all you really need to know.
Okay.
My Spy is going to eclipse Dune as the greatest movie Dave Bautista is going to be in. That hasn't come out yet.
We'll see.
You know what?
We'll see.
It looks a lot like Cop and a Half.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Cop and a Half?
I haven't, but I already know exactly what happens.
But it's like Lou Diamond Phillips.
I was gonna say it's got to be like Sylvester Stallone as a cop and his partner's a kid.
Oh, actually, right? No. I'm thinking of Cop and a Half: New Recruit. The first Cop and a Half is a 1993 film with Burt Reynolds.
Oh, that's excellent. We need a Cop and a Half style film with Sylvester Stallone and Haley Joel Osment. That's perfect, right? The perfect cast for a cop as a kid as a partner.
Yeah, Haley Joel Osment, though, is himself nowadays, but he's on shoes on his knees. You know, like that look.
And he's like texting. Like that would be his thing, is he's always texting. But he saves the day.
I feel like my real dad could still do it.
Yeah, maybe. Perfect. So there you go. That's the movie that's coming out. It's called Cop and a Half 4, featuring a slack-jawed Italian, Sylvester Stallone.
Post Stallone. Yo, someone combine those images and send it to us.
Post Stallone.
Just give him the face tattoos.
No, that's so perfect. That's exactly what it would be called.
Make him look like he smells bad. Like, someone just please make this photo.
Draw green stink lines. There you go. And like flies. You know what I mean? There you go.
Yeah, fucking Opa Pigpen style.
Exactly. Post Stallone. Great. Excellent. Movie's going to be awesome. So, Ash. Mm-hmm. We both saw Shazam.
We sure did.
Yeah. We also both had expectations going into this movie.
Didn't we? Did. Yeah. We thought about stuff.
We thought about stuff. I think publicly we kind of set our expectations already, but let's go through it a little bit more for the sake of the episode. What did you think personally going into Shazam? And you know what? Fuck it. In the weeks preceding Shazam's release.
So I actually had pretty low expectations for Shazam. Number one, DC movie, never a good sign. Ever since 2009's rolled around. For the past decade, true. DC has not been great. And And for me, they've played the same Shazam teaser trailer. They've never updated it. Every time I've gone to see a movie for this podcast since Venom. So I've seen the same one. And at one point he does the floss dance, which also happens in the movie, but it's like less of a big deal. And
exactly. Yeah.
Which is always like how do you think this movie's going to age? Like the floss dance, do you think that that's a real cultural pariah? It's something I do in front of women to try and repulse them. Like it has its purpose, but not like this.
That's not its purpose.
Its purpose is to dry up women. Exactly.
Yes. And it succeeds. Yeah, man. Seeing that spot, because I didn't see it as many times as you did, because I remember we talked about this in an earlier episode. I didn't see the Shazam advertisement nearly as many times. I saw it maybe like twice going into like a movie, right? And it was earlier on. It was like more towards the summer before we rebooted and everything. And so I wasn't totally... I didn't want to vomit. By the time I saw those exact scenes that were in the trailer in the movie, I was like, okay, I knew that was going to be in there. Right. And it was interesting because there was one thing in particular, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was definitely in the trailer, and it was supposed to be a joke, and nobody in my theater laughed. That being said, I was one of 6 people in my theater.
Yeah, I was one of one. I was the only person. I went on a Monday night, beer in hand. Like, what's crazy is it just came out, and it's number 2 on IMDb, and I don't know what's number 1.
I don't understand how that's possible. I don't know how this movie is making money, because I didn't even go on I guess I went on a Tuesday. So maybe I did go on kind of a weird night. But it was a Tuesday, like after the weekend it opened, so I thought like maybe there's going to be people there. But I had
the opening weekend was not good in the maybe it opened weekend for the US 53,000 or 53 million.
That's not terrible. What was its budget? It had to have been like probably 120. Million. Yeah, okay, 100 million. That sounds about right.
Apparently, each one of those suits cost about $1 million, which is a real bummer.
That is a real bummer. Because there's like 8 of them.
and also, I don't think they look that good.
Yeah, I think the one that they used for Zachary Levi looked pretty good. It very clearly had like prosthetic like deltoids.
And yeah, he kind of looked fat in it. It was weird. And then like his legs look silly.
Yeah, I don't think Zachary Levi is in like really excellent shape.
He's bigger. He got a lot bigger for this movie, right? But like not like...
Yeah, like that's kind of like something that I was thinking, and that's something that I thought like before I even saw the movie. Like we're still staying in our expectations section here. Like I was just like, that's all prosthetics. Like that guy doesn't look like that. And then I saw like there was a couple ads before the movie even came on, and there was like bits that he had been in. Honestly, a lot of musicals, which no judgment. I mean, like that's just what he did. But like he doesn't look like a buff dude. Yeah, he doesn't look like a buff dude. And then I see him in the costume, and the costume is almost so ridiculous that it's like, that guy definitely doesn't look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, so. He doesn't like have like the freakishness of a Chris Hemsworth or a Chris Evans of just like
where it's like they're giant people, like they're
they're just fucking people. Freaks.
Yeah, and you can kind of see it in his face too in some parts. Like he almost looked like he was maybe a little bit too old for the role, and I kind of got that impression like really early on. But I mean, like, I still feel like he played it pretty well. I don't know if you want to transition into like prose sections. I don't know how you feel about that. There,
I absolutely feel prose.
There's a lot of prose to this movie.
Yeah,
this movie's not bad.
No, I'd say it's the first good DC film since The Dark Knight. In my opinion, it is second to The Dark Knight in the last 20 years. This is a very bold. Good movie.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's totally unfair at all either.
No, they did some
really
interesting story stuff.
Yeah, they really did. I think the first like 70% of the movie is paced really, really well and edited
amazing.
really, really well. I thought a lot of the editing was very successful in getting what they were trying to execute across. It was like an origin story, but it almost like didn't overplay the fact that it was an origin story. It made it more about the character of Billy Batson, Batson, right? Yeah. It made it a little bit more about him rather than just being like, and you're probably wondering how I got here. You know what I mean? Instead of doing like that angle. So I think that benefited the story a little bit.
Yeah, and I thought that they did really cool things, especially early on when they were establishing him and Dr. Savannah, who, by the way, Mark Strong has now officially like fixed himself from being Sinestro in fucking the Green Lantern. He has overcome and become now like he was awesome. He was such a good bad guy. And I love the way they kind of drew parallels on their stories. Just really imposing and scary. They really didn't do much for his design. He wore like Michael Keaton's outfit from Homecoming with like the leather jacket with the fur. Yeah. But just the eye. And it was very like minimalistic, but it looked fucking great. He was imposing and scary.
Did you know he's British?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm actually looking at his IMDb right now, and I couldn't tell. I felt like his accent work was totally acceptable and perfectly fine. I didn't know that at all until I saw that. I like the way he did his costume. I think it shows that they were able to creatively save money by not making him a big gray villain. But we'll get into the big gray villain probably a little bit later. But all they did really was give him a CGI eye and make him wear sunglasses for most of the movie. And he was fun at the same time as being kind of scary, which was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's nice in comparison to a lot of the more recent like they kind of did like a classic thing with like, you meet the supervillain and you lose to them the first time and barely get out, and then you come back and you like discover your true power and then you can beat them, which a lot of like the MCU origin stories have not done that as of late. It's been like they power down the hero and then they get their power back and they can easily win because they have their power.
Okay. Yeah, totally. I think a lot of what they did for the origin story for this kind of followed a really familiar beat, but in a comfortable way, not in a boring way. Does that make sense?
They managed to do like basically a training montage, and it wasn't boring or like I kind of left it and then I was like, wait, did I just go through a training montage? What just happened?
It was like a stylized way of doing it, because basically the idea, Billy Batson, our main character, is he's an orphan. His parents have pretty much abandoned him. And he's being bounced around from foster home to foster home until he lands with his parents that he's with now. I can't remember their names, but he ended up with them, and they're like actually nice people. Like they're not like gross weirdos or anything like that. They're like, hey, we're foster parents. We have other foster kids. Like we're a family.
And they were foster kids themselves.
Yeah.
It was the Vasquez's.
Yeah. And it was like almost kind of like adorable. Like I saw them and I was like, this kid's going to think they're dweebs, but then he's going to come to love them. That was a little predictable, but you know, it kind of makes sense. Like they were very lovable as parents, which I really thought was kind of adorable. The whole alternative family message of this, I thought was the cutest fucking thing ever.
Yeah. It was really nice.
Yeah. And so like they actually cared about this kid, even though he wasn't their kid. It's like, they're just actually nice people. But he makes quick friends with he's the kid who shares his room. What's that kid's name?
That would be Freddie.
That's Freddie. Is that the character's name?
Yes.
Okay, so Freddie, what's the actor's name? If we can
His name is Jack Dylan Grazer. He played Freddie Freeman.
Okay, Freddie. Okay, cool. So Freddy is his roommate. He's a kid who it's never really described what kind of condition he has. They just call him that. They say he's a crippled kid, which I don't think is necessarily the most forward-thinking way of putting that character. But he has a cane. He walks around. He's not as able-bodied as Billy is. And then Billy is chosen after a wizard. I mean, I'm going to shorten this up real quick. Basically, the wizard can't contain the 7 deadly sins. The wizard is like, I'm dying, and then transfers all of his powers to Billy.
By saying his name, Shazam, and now he has the ability to change between Billy Batson and the wizard Shazam.
At will, as long as he says the word Shazam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is discovered early on, and the two kids become quick friends by figuring out what Shazam's superpowers really are, and they make like YouTube videos. It's getting all these views, and Billy's a 15-year-old kid, and the attention goes to his head. You know, so he's like performing in the streets, like shooting lightning and causing havoc for like a quick buck. Right. He's just hustling people.
And then we have this counter thing of, starting at the beginning of the movie, you have young Dr. Savannah who gets transported and potentially is able to be chosen by the wizard Shazam, but he is tempted by the eye of something.
By the MacGuffin device of MacGuffin.
And as, this kid's kind of, he's kind of like an Aladdin, like Billy Batson's they have him as kind of an Aladdin style street rat, like very street smart, but he's only doing it for a positive thing. He's trying to find his mother, his birth mother, who lost him at a county fair or whatever, which they bring back for like very little payoff.
Almost like disappointing payoff. It comes in the middle of an interesting part where the action is ramping up, but it takes you back, and it's like kind of a good thing and a bad thing because it derails a little bit of the action, but at the same time, it reminds you like, dude, like this superhero is a kid who's an orphan looking for his mother, and he finally has the means to find his mother. So it's kind of like it derails the story a little bit, but at the same time, it's very fitting for the character's arc. So it ends up working out, I think, pretty well in the end. I would say even though it is brief, I would say it's probably a pretty positive point of the movie.
I'm mixed about it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
But so you have the contrary side of Dr. Savannah basically going back to Shazam's realm and stealing the eye, taking on the souls of the 7 deadly sins and wreaking havoc, but knowing that he will not be the most powerful one as long as Shazam is out there. And then it's a child, and he fucks him up real hard.
Almost the second act of this movie, basically after Billy gains these powers and they're just joking around, there's a brief moment where the 7 deadly sins remind Zachary Levi Mark Strong. Oh my goodness. Already mixing people up. They remind Mark Strong, you better kill Shazam now before he realizes how legitimately powerful he is, so you can get his powers. And so this period of the movie, Shazam's still like kind of jerking off and like blowing shit up and like just being a goofball, making money, like showing off his superpowers. And Mark Strong finally hunts him down after he blows up a bus or something in public and then saves it, and people are like, "Yay, a superhero!" Claps. And that's when Mark Strong or Dr. Savannah finally finds him and kicks his ass. So much of this movie is Shazam getting his ass. Yeah, so much of this movie is Shazam getting his ass kicked, and it's kind of like cool because it reminds you that like it kind of gives you a feeling that there is stakes, which keeps you interested through the end of the movie. Almost a little too much of our hero getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it really makes it because, like, well, in the comics, Dr. Savannah was never like that strong. He could like walk through walls and was like a really good tactician. You know, he was kind of the He's kind of like what's his face from Civil War. You didn't watch Civil War.
No, I haven't seen Civil War.
You should watch Civil War. It's great.
Yeah, I know.
It's really good.
I'll get there.
But yeah, he's like Zemo, where he's like, he uses his smarts to manipulate and outmaneuver, because like, Zemo basically turns Iron Man against Captain America and makes the Avengers break up because like his wife died. And Dr. Savant is more like that in the comics, but in here he's more of like just a superhero guy, and I don't recall the 7 Deadly Sins ever being in there, but I liked the turn it took because it really gave everything a lot of stakes.
Yeah, it really did, and it kind of like so the way that they end up defeating Dr. Savannah, if we can get into spoilers, do you think that's okay at this point?
Yeah. I don't really care what the fuck our audience thinks.
Neither do I, to be honest. If you're listening to this and you haven't seen the movie already, you should probably have seen it before you listen to us talk. But basically, the way they end up getting Dr. Savannah is that there's 7 deadly sins, and as long as Dr. Savannah has the 7 deadly sins absorbed into his eye crystal, as long as he has them inside him, basically, he is powerful. He can fly. He has almost exactly equal powers to Shazam himself. He can shoot lightning. He can do all sorts of crap. And but as soon as all 7 of them are outside of his body, because there's 7 individual creatures that come outside of his body, once that happens, he's just the dude.
Like, and they realize that like like an hour before the end of the movie. It takes them a fucking hour to fucking do it.
The ending of this movie is very long, but we'll get into that. Yeah. Almost exhaustingly long, but so that's a thing that happens. Basically, he keeps one of them inside his eye at all times, so he doesn't just totally lose his powers. I don't know, whatever. Big gray villain. There you go. But I think the real way that this movie shines, and the biggest things about it, are that it's really accessible. You don't need to know anything about any other movie before you go and see this. It's pretty much it's in the DC universe, but only like briefly, like at the very end, and they mention Superman at the beginning of the movie. And that's like it. So you don't really
Batarang,
Yeah, and there's a Batarang in there too. And even that is like, you just need to know that Batman. It almost took me out of it a little bit, because it's like, Superman and Batman also technically exist, even though this is just a movie about a kid. It's kind of like, it's almost a little groan worthy, because I feel like this could have been,
Yeah. It's very off DC's brand, because they do Gotham, Metropolis, they do the fake city names, but this one's just like, it's in Philly.
It's just in Philadelphia. And the thing is like where are Gotham and Metropolis then? If real cities exist in that universe, then is Gotham New York and Metropolis is Chicago?
That's what it's supposed to be.
I guess that makes sense, right? But I mean, why do they call them that? And I think the only reason they do that is there's no reason.
It's because that's how it was originally written, and it serves no purpose anymore.
Yeah. Well, but in the Nolan Batman movies, Gotham is pretty much Pittsburgh, right? Because I think a lot of those were actually filmed in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I think that's what they're going for there, but
it's just a city with a lot of poverty and crime. Like it insert whatever city works.
Any Rust Belt, Cincinnati works.
Yeah,
Cleveland,
the Natty, absolutely the Natty. Shout out to Nipsey Hussle.
Chicago, perhaps Detroit, but RoboCop's king there. So.
Yeah. Yo, Batman v RoboCop.
Shit,
give me that movie.
Yeah, let's see that. Man, I will watch the shit out of that. Can we
just the only way for anyone to fight Disney is for shit like that to happen.
Like, there's got to be just bold crossover movies. Right?
Give me just T-1000 versus Harry Potter.
God damn,
Fuck it.
Love it. I would love it. It's an inevitability that Darth Vader is going to fight Iron Man, right? Like it's kind of fucking happened. Now that Disney owns,
I love that.
Star Wars and the Avengers inevitably are going to cross over. There's no way they're not. There's going to be a million more Star Wars movies and a million more Marvel movies. And now Marvel movies are in space too. It's all going to happen. It's all going to come together. There's no way. And it's not. So.
Okay, so give me Hellboy v. the cast of Friends. Fuck it.
I'm waiting for Peter Griffin to be in the Avengers. Oh yeah, Homer Simpson versus wait, that's a Fox thing. Yeah, Homer Simpson versus shit. What's a Disney character that would work? What do you think would be an even matchup for Homer Simpson? Ant-Man.
Happy from fucking Iron Man. Jon Favreau v. Homer. Come on, baby. Give it to me. I fucking want it.
In Avengers 8. Perfect. Okay, exactly. Oh my god, I want to see that. That's so dumb. All right, let's just start pitting people against each other. Like HBO, come on, give us Daenerys Targaryen and her dragons versus Black Lightning, or Daenerys Targaryen Vigerian Vegeta against Tony Soprano in the HBO cinematic.
Give me Seth Rogen in Knocked Up versus Michael Cera and Scott Pilgrim.
Seth Rogen would be like, oh, no, and then he would like be like, oh, my
man.
dick. And Michael Cera would be like, I don't. Maybe we shouldn't fight it out, man.
Give me James Franco in that one movie about the room versus Steve Carell in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah,
Pitched combat. No, because everything's a cinematic universe now. Everything.
Give me the Swiss Army Man versus, I don't know, man.
Versus Harry Potter.
Give me the Swiss Army Man in a fucking like who's the guy? In like a Simon versus like a Simon Pegg character where like they're like out drinking, but the Swiss Army Man's like ruining
What's that?
their
It's
afternoon.
called the end of the world or something.
End of the fucking world. Yeah.
No. It's the end of the world.
World's
pub.
End.
It's
World's End.
Yeah, at World's. Yes, that's it.
Just give me like the fourth movie in the Cornetto trilogy, but it's like them versus the Swiss Army Man.
Exactly. How about in the Spy Kids cinematic universe? It's Alita Battle Angel versus the frumpy red-haired kid from Spy Kids.
Oh my god. Give me the Boss Baby versus the Great British Bake Off. Chefs covering the Boss Baby in buttercream.
There's a movie called Freddy versus Jason. You probably knew about that one though.
What?
Yeah, Freddy Krueger versus Jason Voorhees. They fight each other.
I thought that was like
quote from that movie. Why won't you die?
And then Jason goes like,
Exactly.
Okay, let's get back on track with some negativos because I have quite a few.
I have some of the things that I found to be negative about this movie in retrospect are actually kind of charming. So
okay,
there's a lot of good about this movie. I think it's pretty fucking cute, all things considered. So
mine are pretty nitpicky. I'm gonna go with number one. That woman never looks like she's 17.
Ever.
No, she looks 35 at the
even
youngest,
when she's
and then
17. Yeah.
yeah, and this is Billy Batson's mother, and when he meets up with her later in what is a scene with zero payoff and kind of zero use in the movie, besides showing him that the foster kids are his real family, which is like you could do that any which way, but she's like, "Oh, I was 17," and I was just going, "You were."
She honestly, they could have
just
been
look like you got a tan.
Exactly. They could have been like, I was 24, and that would have been so much more appropriate, right?
Or just get a different actress. Like, it's not like you needed a name brand actress in there.
I see what they were going for. They probably didn't want to pay another actor.
Get that girl from fucking End of the Fucking World, and she's like, I was fucking 17. I didn't want to be on my.
That wouldn't have been a poor acting choice. Or a poor casting choice. That probably would have worked pretty well.
Yeah.
And but I get it. I get why they didn't want to do that, but that immediately took me out of the movie, because all I could think of as soon as I saw her portraying a 17-year-old kid was that woman is not 17. Not in this flashback. And not at the beginning of the movie when you see the flashback.
Yeah, it never looks good.
It doesn't. And they could have just changed the age. They could have been like, I was only 24, and like, we're millennials. We get it now. Yeah. Like having a kid at 24.
I have a meth problem. Like, there are lots of reasons why she could have abandoned him.
24 years old is pretty young to have a kid nowadays, and like, they could have said that, and like, the woman being a piece of shit would not have changed. Like, it would have been all completely understandable that she just could not afford it. And I don't know, she did not need to be 17. That's just that it didn't make any sense.
She could have been. They just should have picked a different fucking movie.
If they wanted her to be 17, they should have recast her, or they should have just changed the age so it made more sense for the age of the actress that they picked for that role. You know,
it's so bizarre.
They had choices and they chose not to. Yeah, that's okay though. I mean, that's such a minor thing. And I get
it's
why
nitpicky. Yeah,
it's nitpicky, but you're totally right, because that completely took me out of the movie a little bit for like a second. I was like, oh no, like as soon as I saw it. So
then
I get it.
Second nitpick. So Billy Batson is not pure of heart. I don't know where that came from. Like, as a character, he's not pure of heart, and it seemed like just so coincidental, just for the sake of the plot, that like Shazam was like, this is the perfect kid. He beat up a bully with a crutch.
Oh, that's true. That did happen.
And like, but it was like, literally, it seemed like, okay, Dr. Savannah comes in, takes the eye, and then immediately he's just like, well, I guess just the next kid to do something good. And I feel like if Billy Batson, as the character was portrayed early in the movie, had the temptation part of the test, wouldn't have passed. Just not that great of a guy.
So I agree with you in a lot of ways. I am going to combat this, though, because if you remember, like you said, Dr. Savannah, he comes in and takes the MacGuffin device, and he's just like, I ain't pure heart, sticks it in his face, and now he has the 7 deadly sins. Shazam the wizard he's there. He's like, I got one more kid in line. Because remember, he's just like, wizardly powers, find me a kid pure of heart, and like, anybody will work. Like, seriously, I'm desperate. And then the sparkles go out, right? And then finally they get to Billy Batson, and Billy Batson's the next kid, and Shazam the wizard's like, I don't have any more time. Like, dude, you got to do it, and you got to learn how to be a superhero. And he's just like, hold the staff, just do it. We're doing this, man. So it's like, I think part of the story was that he's not necessarily pure of heart. That was part of the trial for the character, is to learn whether or not. It's a good arc. It's a good arc. It's a good arc. You don't have my argument there. But when I'm looking at the context of this movie, Freddy was a much better guy. Yeah. Much more pure of heart from the get-go. But you think about it then,
was not pure.
Freddy even admitted that he was envious of the powers. Directly exhibiting that he has one of the deadly sins, envy.
What about Darla?
Yeah, Darla,
the little sister.
Yeah, she should have been it. Well, she ends up being a Shazam. She ends up being a superhero. They all end up getting the powers. It's fair.
Called the Shazamily. All right, let's just
Ash texted me that after I got out of the theater. I was like, God damn it.
That's good. He's so quick.
You're so right. Yeah.
Like literally all the siblings, I think, were more pure of heart. Fucking Mary, who's
probably
like, I can't move away
except for
from
maybe
my family
the
for college.
The child of size who doesn't really have any character development.
Oh, Pedro Pena?
Is that his name? I don't remember.
Yeah.
The larger kid who has like no lines. It looks like a lot of his stuff got cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
So like at least half of those children more pure of heart. Fuck the parents, the foster parents.
They weren't
those
kids
are both
though.
good guys.
They weren't kids.
Why do they have to be? It would have been really funny if after Shazam gave his powers, he just became like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a little cute black kid, just the guy from Us, the kid from Us.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would have worked. Yeah, I don't know. So I want to discuss. This is honestly my biggest con. Is the entire third act of this movie.
Oh, so painful because we got so much of those two fighting.
Yeah, we got way too much of Zachary Levi and Mark Strong in combat. There was a lot of that. We got the point. There wasn't a lot of redemption for Shazam until very nearly the absolute end, which is okay. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It actually made the ending for those two and their arcs together being more satisfying, I think. The problem is that once Shazam realizes, once he has the staff in his hands, he realizes that he can share it with all of his family members. This is when the movie immediately becomes too long. Because
this is immediately when you go like...
That's when I groaned. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. As soon as all of his brothers and sisters got to become their own individual superheroes, I was like, oh, so this is 7 origin movies now. And the third act...
Also, it's like...
Yeah.
Did they think that we didn't get the point that the foster family was going to be important to him winning?
Exactly.
That was obvious after about 10 minutes of this movie.
And it would have been cute if like they backed him up and like they all had to join forces together and like love was magic and they just added their love to his magic. Like that would have been totally effective. But no, they all got to be
different rings.
Yeah.
That summon Captain Planet.
And my impression of all of the fight scenes with the brothers and sisters as superheroes is that they cut a lot of shit out. Okay. There are some of the brothers and sisters. There was one girl, she was the oldest sister who was like applying for colleges and stuff, who
Mary.
Who just turned into an actress who looked exactly like her, who was like the same age and was wearing a skirt.
Was the only one that was perfectly cast for like her Shazam counterpart.
But the thing is that you saw her for a second at the beginning and then a second at the end of the fight scene. All of those scenes, like she didn't do anything the entire fight scene until the very end. She was just like, wow, Shazam, you did it, or something like that. And it was like very weird. It was almost like they filmed her scenes and they were like, let's save this for the little black girl and like cut all of this girl's shit out. Because I got that impression, at least, because I didn't even realize that one of them was wearing a skirt until the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
So
I have a lot of thoughts about just all of these fucking Shazamily actors. So we talked about Mary's, but Darla, the little girl, I thought she was great. She had that childlike wonderment.
Oh, I thought... do you mean like after she turns into a superhero? Because I have something to say about that too.
Yeah, I thought the adult version of her was like really good at capturing like what little we knew about Darla, the little girl.
I think the script was very effective. Mm-hmm. I have an issue, and this might be just like a personal thing. I find when adult actors attempt to portray childlike wonderment as children, it comes across as very uncomfortable and cringy. I see what they're going for.
At one point says, I'm fast. I'm really fast.
And like some of it's cute. I think I really liked the little girl who played Darla. I thought she had some of the best lines in the whole movie. I thought that she was really well rounded. She was a funny character who, like, you understood that, like, she's way into all of this. She's trying to lead Billy through school and stuff like that. Fucking adorable. As soon as she becomes an adult, it's kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's a personal preference thing. I just think it's really creepy and gross when adults pretend to be kids.
My favorite of all of the Shazamly, because the Eugene one reminded me too much of this Asian bodybuilder at my gym who always like takes video of himself and gets shirtless for no reason. And I'm like,
I liked that guy. I thought he was good. I liked how, and I was like, honestly, like so bewildered at this point. And I had drank like 3 beers. So I was just like, whoa, let's do this. Woo. You know, at this point. And I couldn't figure out who was who.
He was the gray one.
Yeah, he was the green one. Or no, the green one was
was Pedro,
the child of size who turned into. He was just stocky
he turned
and
Polish. He just turned into a Polish guy. I'm like, okay.
They just became like fucking jacked, and then Freddy turned into an adult version of Freddy who wasn't crippled and had the same haircut. But it was it was aesthetic.
Was in an episode of New Girl, and that's like,
you know what?
Freaking me out.
I had a feeling I recognized that actor too. I was like, that guy, something.
He was the one who, when Nick broke up with Caroline, he was the one who was still in love with Jess and was trying to fuck her with his child there, and it was real weird.
Yeah, real weird. Well, there you go. Now you know. So that's Shazam, man. Do you have any further cons?
Yeah, big gray villains. A 7 just gray.
We gotta talk about it. Yeah.
Poorly designed. Like, you could only really tell that gluttony was gluttony. All the sins like didn't. It's like not Full Metal Alchemist where
they
you
even
know,
like draw attention to it. They're like, I thought lust would be a lot more attractive or something. It's like,
was that the one with a long time? Like, I don't even know.
And the thing, I think a lot of it is like it appeared to me that they didn't even have the creature designs down after the script was already filmed. Because I think that they just took the CGI from the live action Gargoyles movie. It looked like that. They all look so similar. There was the one with the wings and then the really fat one, and those were the only two that stood out. Every other one, even like Envy, who has like his own like plot point. That's how they kind of get Dr. Savannah like in a corner. They're like, you still have Envy. You know what? Let him out because we're just going to beat your ass, you little bitch. Like that was like his thing. Even Envy just looked like every single one of the other ones. He was supposed to be like small and he just looked like exactly the other villains. Big gray villains are a big problem for DC. They really got
at night. At night.
Yeah. Like the thing is like they had so many opportunities to make this like a brightly colored, and in many ways they succeeded making this like a colorful, fun, like the script was a blast through most of it. And like it was shot in a way that was especially unique to DC, almost as if they were trying to do a Marvel thing, but they kind of went off in their own direction. And this movie holds a unique style on its own, I think. But then they just resort to the gray villains thing. And it's like, why, man? Like Dr. Savannah was kind of cool in his own. Like, why couldn't he have gotten just evil powers that had nothing to do with the 7 deadly sins? Or why not make each of the deadly sins like have a different color? You know?
Yeah. Why wasn't Envy green?
Like, why couldn't, right? And why couldn't they correspond with each of the Shazamly? Like, couldn't that have been a thing? Wouldn't that have been kind of cool? Yeah. That would have been cheesy. That would have been something out of, like, Independence Day. But, I mean, it would have, like, I don't know. It probably would have added more visual flair to this movie.
Yeah, you get fucking Freddy to fight off Envy.
Yeah. Right?
Like that would have been perfect. Be a great arc for him.
That would have been the perfect matchup. And, like, all you need is, like, 2 lines. Just 2 lines in there. Freddy fights Envy, and it's a little bit of a matchup. You add like 5 more minutes to the movie, because this movie actually like came in at a pretty decent runtime. It was like an hour and 55 or something like that.
2:12.
Oh, really? It's even longer than I thought. See, that's the mark of a good screenplay is when it doesn't feel as long as it actually was, except for that third act. That's when it dragged.
Yeah, and also just the CGI didn't look as good in that third act.
I can kind of get it for a movie of this budget, though. 100 million is a lot of money, but it looks like they really put a lot of money in. Like, despite how silly the costumes honestly looked, they were fun, you know? And I don't know, casting, they probably cut some corners with casting, but I mean, like, I don't know, this movie's decent. It's fine. On it, I think everything, they put the money in the right places. The screenplay ended up being effective. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with this in the future. I don't really see how they can integrate this, especially since everybody in the Justice League fucking quit.
Yeah, thank God. I hate you.
How about that? Yeah, seriously. How about that ending scene where it's definitely Henry Cavill and like as Superman?
They don't show his face on purpose.
Oh my God. I know they don't show his face on purpose, but dude, just look at it's like it's definitely Henry Cavill or it's like a close body double, or they shot it and cropped it at the last minute.
Yeah, because they're like, we might have to change this face.
I think that's what they did. I think they shot it and they cropped it. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's like one thing that Marvel's done really consistently well, aside from most things, is that they've kept the same cast for a decade now. And I don't know where the Justice League's going to go. Hopefully Zachary Levi stays around. I thought he was a lot of fun. I thought he captured the spirit of a 14-year-old kid really well without it being like weird.
Yeah, no, it was the least disturbing of all the
adults pretending to be children. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man.
I liked it. I say we get into our rating and review section.
I think we should too. So Ash, or I mean, you initiated it. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'd love for you to.
I always put this on you. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, if I'm gonna think of 5 words, it's gonna be. Oh my God, you're going to hate this so much. It's going to be gluttony, envy. I don't even know if I can name anymore. I'm already at the end of
wrath, pride,
lust. There we go. Bam. Shazam. Hear it? There you go. I'm going to recommend Shazam. I say go see it. It's cute. There's not enough people on a Tuesday. In a more crowded theater, I think I would have giggled at more of the jokes, probably. I definitely found myself like being a little heartwarmed at the end. I clapped even though no one was around. I felt like I did. You said something really like poignant to me. It was after you got out of the theater and you said, "I don't feel like I got robbed," and I felt exactly the same way because I've come out of movies, especially in the last year, feeling like, was that money well spent? I felt like. Going to see Shazam was cute. It made me feel good. I recommended it to my mom and my sister. You know what I mean? It was one of those movies. And
mom, sis, check out this movie. Exactly. I wish I was fucking adopted.
Not what I was trying to say. It gets Avery recommended it to his mom, seal of approval. Yeah,
that's a solid one.
Yeah, and so I'm gonna give Shazam, in the grand scheme of the movies that we've watched, a solid 6 out of 10. I think it has its problems. I think it has its really positive things. I think you should see it, but when it comes down to raw filmmaking, there are problems, especially in the third act, that kind of like undercut it. You know what? Fuck that. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think now that I'm thinking a little bit more about it, I think it's more of a 7. But yeah, 7 out of 10, I think is totally fair. Has its shortcomings, but I think the positives outweigh it. I say, yeah, totally go and see it. It's cute. You're gonna be heartwarmed. You know, like that this kid finds his real family and whatever. But
absolutely dope. But send it.
Yeah, exactly. Send it. Send that 7 out of 10 home to mom.
And your sister.
Yeah, and your sister. They're gonna love it.
If you don't have one, ask your mom for a sister. She'll be very confused. She's like, I'm postmenopausal. Please leave me alone. Why is this the first time we've spoken in 6 months?
Oh no.
Yeah, you're a bad guy. Call your mom. Not you, our audience.
You know who you are, Tyler.
Mr. Durden.
Oh no. Anyway, Anyway, Ash, how about you give us a couple words? And by a couple, I mean several. And by several, I mean 5. And then a rating, a review, and a recommendation.
We are Shazamily. Brothers and sisters. Not me.
That's way too many words or way too few. That's okay. It doesn't matter.
We are Shazamily, brothers, sisters.
Just you guys wait till For the Story season 3 and we really crack down on these words.
Yeah. We're going to keep going until the full hour is covered under our review words. So Shazam's like a pretty good movie. It has like classic DC flaws, but this is the first time I've gone and seen a DC movie in this new post-Nolan era where I've been like, this is going in the correct direction. This is a good move for DC as a whole. I loved the cast. I thought, for child actors, I wasn't cringing the whole time. I was thinking for, having really fake muscles, I was not laughing at these people the whole entire time.
All right.
CGI suits did not bug me. It had its problems, especially with just very nitpickable stuff and the classic big gray villain at night fight. But it was really good. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. Go see it.
Bold. I like that. For a DC film coming from Asher, an 8, that's strong.
That is
strong.
Pretty much as high as it goes.
Right? Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. At least 7. I agree with you, man. But it's like, go ahead and go see it. Shazam's cute. Like you're probably gonna like it. Give this movie some more money because I think DC needs some kind of incentive to make less Aquamans and more Shazams. Does that make sense? Like so give your money to DC so they keep making movies more like this.
Yeah. It's got to beat Aquaman, and that's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we got more Aquamans coming on the horizon.
Despite the fact that I think there might have been one other guy in my theater, and it was like a guy with a short haircut and like big black plugs wearing a black shirt and black skinny jeans. And I'm like, this is a DC guy. I know him when I see him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Speaking of...
You know the exact type.
We got Joker on the horizon.
That is the number 1 movie on IMDb right now.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. I don't know.
I can't wait till an incel uses him as an inspiration to kill people.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's going to happen.
It's going to happen. The Joker's like the Marilyn Manson of superheroes, right?
I just saw a meme where they're like 1940s, throw him in a vat of... or put him in a vat of poison, and then 2019, put him in a society.
I've seen this one too.
Oh.
I think it's supposed to be vomit worthy. I think I know what you. I follow this Facebook group called "Implying Movies Are Good," which, by the way, you should follow, Ash, if you don't already. They put some pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. It's stuff that like we talk about too, which is good. But the problem that I have with the Joker just in general over most forms of medium, except for the Heath Ledger Joker, because that's like unique and like a gem, is that he's fucking dumb and cringy. And I know you don't like that. I know our listeners don't like that. But man, I just don't like the Joker. I don't really like Batman either.
I hate Batman.
I just don't get it.
Batman's a bad guy.
And then the Joker, it's just like, especially how it's been adopted by incel culture is just so awkward and cringy bad to me. It's like, oh my God.
You if you ever go on Reddit, you should check out Shitty Movie Details.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that? This is one of my favorites. In Star Wars Episode 6, Boba Fett gives a subtle nod to Princess Leia. This is a subtle nod.
I've seen this kind of meme. I know what you mean. Yeah, so everybody should follow Implying Movies Are Good.
Yeah.
And also, it's going to be a long night for me. I want you to know, Ash, too. I'm recording an episode with Dr. Snuggles on Gets Off with Dr. Snuggles tonight. Dr. Snuggles himself, Alistair, is in Australia. So we start recording at 2:30 in the morning.
Enjoy that 3-hour recording.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I honestly, Alistair, all of that crew, I listened to an episode in preparation today, and they're nice people. I'm looking forward to doing it. If you guys haven't listened to anything on the Companeros Movie Network or a podcast network,
they've changed their name. I forget what it is right now.
Well, I think
we should figure.
Okay, so I got to look into it because I know that they did change their format a little bit, but I know they have Movie Melt, which I think is one of like a little bit more like us. They review like more modern things, or they could be. I honestly, I haven't listened to it yet. I will. Anyway, Companeros Podcast Network. They only talk about movies. They got some like weird stuff with Get Soft with Dr. Snuggles, who's Ash and I have been communicating with Alistair for like 2 years now. He's a nice guy. He found us really early on when we were still reviewing porn films because that's what his podcast focuses on. We were kind of competitors for a little bit, and then that all settled out, and now it's just like we're fun and we're friends, and we hype each other up. So
I mean, it was boring winning all the time, you know?
Exactly. It's like being number one all the time is.
It's like being the Globetrotters.
We had to roll the dice. We were like, let's blow our fan base to the ground and like start fresh.
Oh, here's another shitty movie detail. In the 2015 Fan 4-stick poster, the number 4 is shown in the middle of the word fantastic to refer to the amount of people that liked the film.
Oh, yikes. Details. Hints dropped from the directors. Spoilers. That's how many people are going to be in the theater with you. That's a spoiler, man.
Yeah.
But
it's a bummer too.
But guys, thanks for listening to our Shazam review. Check out Gets Off with Dr. Snuggles. Seriously, they're nice people. You're gonna like it. I'm gonna be on there, and I'm gonna totally.
I think I did 3 episodes as well.
You did 3? I thought you only did 2. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Ash is in there somewhere. Go back and listen. You're gonna have to listen to all their stuff now. And we probably talk about it on our podcast too, so it looks like you're gonna have to listen to all of ours too. Go figure.
It was definitely 3 episodes.
But there it is. Go ahead, listen to them, listen to us. You guys are already listening to us, so you're stuck. Yeah, anyway,
keep listening.
But guys, thank you so much. We really love you. Find us on Instagram at For The Story Podcast, or send us an email at forthestorypodcast@gmail.com. We will respond to your emails on the show. Like, we will do that because we think that's fun. So nobody sent us an email in a while. So send us some. Like, seriously, we want to talk to you guys. We like getting input from you guys and seeing what you like, even though you guys mostly do that on Instagram, which I think is okay too. So yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening to us. We love you so much. And
goodbye.
Goodbye. We are Venom.